jacks those things up.
So you think we do not have a gear rod problem now, but the mech unit is still not good?
Correct.
Okay. So minimize shifting.
Yes.
And run the line pressures, but maybe don't need to worry about avoiding the even gears.
Correct. Main thing is keep it in manual mode.
Manual mode, DSC off, highest line pressure, and off the gas when we shift to slip as little as possible.
That's it.
Awesome. We've decided to kind of, we haven't really had much of a problem, driving it like we are. We've decided to treat it as though we don't have a problem and not stress ourselves and enjoy our trip.
But do all the things that we think will extend the life.
Right.
So that we can burn this down and win tomorrow.
Right.
Definitely send it tomorrow. Don't even think about it for track stuff. You gotta do what you gotta do.
For sure. So, and that's overall the goal, is to not even think about it for a while.
I mean, from a points perspective, if we do well tomorrow, we could actually fail to make the skid pad and win class.
Right, and it's been discussed that we could, if it really got bad, we could get it flatbedded to the skid pad and run first gear in the skid pad and still probably put in some time. So.
Oh, look at you guys.
Yeah, it's a logistics fun problem. But no, I mean, not that we're not going to do the right things and so forth. Just we need to stop stressing about it. You're to the left here. We just got to stop stressing out about it because we're wearing ourselves out. We did go to a fantastic liquor store in I don't know, wherever we got gas. Yeah, and found some bourbon.
We're in Arkansas. Oh, sorry, that's illegal to say in the state of Arkansas. I didn't know that.
So anyway, we found bourbon that we can't get at home, and that was nice. They'll stay corked, of course, but
unless we break.
Unless we break, and then they won't be corked.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
So, all right, well, good news. Appreciate SSP providing late night technical support. Certainly appreciate you.
Yeah, dude, Phil, you're killing it for us. Thank you.
You guys are killing it.
Phil Wurz, what a dude.
Yes.
Guy behind this car, and back at home while we go out and have fun.
Phil has had a lot of fun in this car.
Phil's had a lot of fun in this car. Phil's been the test driver and really the guy. Well, he's also had a lot of brutal work in this car.
He's doing some events too, right?
Yeah. So anyway, appreciate him and everybody back at BimmerWorld that's supporting the effort and making the magic happen. So thank y'all. Entering Tennessee and crossing the Mississippi River. I think geography wasn't necessarily my thing. Amazing casinos. I think we're passing Memphis. So
you might notice the car is a little loud at the moment.
Why is that, Evan?
Because I'm not supposed to shift out of 7th gear and we're barely moving.
You're doing a great job. Hey, Bass Pro Shop, it's a pyramid. It's like the Luxor of bass fishing.
Kevin will probably cut that.
Why didn't cut that?
Hey, so we said it was going to be our last video a while ago. Gotcha. We watched our episode 6 that Kevin made. You know what? Before I even get to this, Kevin's doing an amazing job, and we want to say thank you to him. I think we've given him a pretty hard time about get this stuff up. People have questions. They want to know what's going on. Why is it taking you more than 10 minutes to edit all this together? Kevin really has done an amazing job putting this together. If you're enjoying the videos, it's mostly because of Kevin. James and I are sending him all kinds of trash, and he's able to take back. And we're tired. There's a long way to go still. Help me out here, James.
Well, we talked about the results. We know what we did there. We talked about our problems.
We lied to you. I lied to you. I said we were 10th and 11th, that the results had been taken down, and that there's really no way that could change. It changed. We're 11th and 11th, which makes basically no difference. But
also better than 12th and 12th, which is where we've been finding ourselves. So we're feeling pretty good about that. We are headed to NCM, and we're driving through drizzle, and we're super excited because we think the morning is going to start with a wet track, and we think that it may be wet for the fast cars in the afternoon, and now that we're as far along as we are in the event, that really means a lot. And we've been spending our time, after we freaked out a little bit about the car issues,
still freaking out a little bit
about the car issues, but we've been spending our time going through data and finishing positions and so forth. And the wet skid pad is super interesting, especially now that we're driving through the rain and expecting more wet weather. It's interesting because it's pretty much a measurement of a tire, or given that we are now married to these tires for a week, a car combination with tires, wet handling ability. And we recognize that some of the fast cars behind us and some of the cars in front of us are on tires that are particularly not good in wet weather conditions. So we're looking at a high likelihood of water today, by the time you see this, and should extend early afternoon and may even extend into the dry skid pad, making it Mother Nature's wet skid pad, which puts us possibly in a position of being able to climb, everything else being equal, everybody performing as their car would allow them to perform, no issues, maybe even up into third overall for this event. So feeling pretty good about that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's far from a sure thing, but opportunity is kind of what keeps you going in things like this. Nobody wants to race a car that can't win, and it's a lot more fun when you start realizing we could actually, we're looking really good in class, but in the overall, we could move up quite a lot. We haven't fallen as far as might have thought by now, and there could be huge swings. If all those events are wet, like James is saying, some of the most competitive cars, some of the cars in the top 5 right now, have had 40th, 50th, 60th place finishes in the wet skid pad earlier this week. So
down to in the 70s, which is crazy. Which just no grip in the rain.
Yeah. So when you think in the dry, they're finishing 6th to our 12th or 11th. Plus we had a 5 and a 6 at Rhode Island, which helped. And so that's only a few spots per event. If we're able to get 5th again on a wet skid pad or such, and someone else is 40th, 50th, 60th, that's a huge number of places and points. So it's exciting. We need this transmission to make it there, and then we need it to rain, and then we need James to kill it in NCM. But if all those things happen, it could be real exciting.
So we've got maybe 250 miles to go. We are knocking them out. Evan's driving right now, and of course we need to get there. Feeling pretty good about that. We have a good strategy, thanks to Phil Wurz, Kevin, who chipped in on that. Peeps at BimmerWorld, kind of figuring it out. So I think we'll get there. I think we'll wake up in the morning feeling good about the sleep we've had, and I'm looking for an awesome day on hopefully a wet track. Like all things this week, fingers crossed.
I'd say we won't be back, but I'm pretty bored.
Oh, and that reminds me.
That took a long time. And we're back.
So we're thinking that beyond, of course, subscribe, smash that like button, and leave your comments, more specifically on your comments, if you're enjoying this, or if you're not, if you hate it, that's fine too. If you want for us to fill some time while we're on these transits answering your questions about the trip, about One Lap of America overall, about the GTMore, about anything BMW, about bourbon selection in Arkansas, about Apollo 13, the movie.
Your track event this weekend, if you have one.
Your track event this weekend, prep for a track event, geography,
Making videos.
iPhone usage, any of these things. Add messages, comments, I think they're called. Comments to the YouTube channel.
That's what the kids are saying.
We will peruse those and we will answer them. And the video will become even longer, and Kevin will appreciate our effort for making the content and your effort for contributing to what we feel like is a fantastic series of ourselves starring ourselves. So I think that didn't record because, and I'm talking about so anyway, iPhone usage off the table for messages and questions.
This is take 3 because he can't use his phone again. Like, it's unbelievable. I can't even explain it. How do you drive a race car?
So not doing as well as before with the videos, with the usage of the iPhone to capture the videos. And we're putting out some great stuff right now. So anyway, let's consolidate those messages, those questions to day 7 video. And we have a long trip, which Evan suddenly recalled and maybe not thrilled about. After this whole event is done, then we get to drive from Indiana back home. So I think there's opportunity for an epilogue and plenty of editing for Kevin, which he absolutely loves to do. So send those questions. I mean, we could do a spin-off series after this trip is over.
You're gonna have to pay me to do that.
Why is that?
A spin-off series?
I don't know. Just a thought. So, Pikes Peak is going to come next. Kevin has requested that Evan be at Pikes Peak. And Evan's family lives in Colorado, so I feel like at least he should go see his family and then join us at Pikes Peak. Just a thought. So anyway.
James, are we the last one-lap car?
Nope.
James, are we the last one-lap car?
Yep.
Good morning. We are here in Bowling Green, Kentucky, getting ready for the final road course day at NCM. James has been to the track a couple times, but mostly rain. We may have gotten what we've been talking about and what we've been wishing for. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too much, because the rain could always stop. But if the rain continues, things could be looking pretty good for us. Not to jinx it, but they could be looking pretty good for us. Good morning. Rain.
Rain.
Rain. I don't even know what else to say. We really wanted rain. It's the last road course day. The car made it here. I think we shifted maybe 10 to 15 times in 12 hours. Big shout out to the highway system, which somehow let us run 4-hour stints with no traffic for the most part, and essentially just 7th gear cruising. Other people are freaking out about the wet, and we're like giddy at the possibility that it might stay this damp.
Giddy.
That's giddy for James in the morning. He's a bit of a bear. Anyways, we're headed to the track now. We got some work we got to do. We got some setup changes we got to make. Hopefully we've left ourselves plenty of time, and we will check in from there.
Good Friday morning to you. You're listening to the morning show here on Top 104 FM 930 AM WKCT. Our phone number 270-780.
Hey, Evan.
Yeah.
How you feel about the weather?
Fucking amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because these ECS02 tires from Continental love some rain.
They do love some rain. NCM, rainy day, exactly what we needed for our last track day.
James,
Evan?
fresh off a soaking wet track here at NCM. How you feeling?
Feeling good. And I'll tell you, it wasn't just soaking wet, it was... We came in and we drove into the track this morning. It was raining wet. Then we started getting ready to run and it got really wet. And then we got ready to run our group and the heavens opened up and it was a deluge. There were rivers, there were puddles. Continental Tires crushed it in this thing And I think we did pretty well, but I have no idea. You've given me some feedback, and we got to wait for other people to run. It's drying out right now, which that means everybody that runs. By the way, we just lost one of our competitors into a wall. That's super unfortunate, but that also means it's not raining. The track continues to dry. The people that run later will certainly have an advantage because it was way, way wet for us. So who knows? We'll see.
He did pretty good. I think we were third of 6 in the second theoretically fastest run group. Not quite what we expect. I think we were probably about where we wanted to be. A couple of the cars that we thought were going to struggle more in the wet actually did pretty good in the wet. So, maybe that's surface, maybe that's driver changes, maybe some of their dry tires aren't as bad as we thought in the wet. But we'll see where we stand. One thing we've learned for sure in these last 8 days is that we shouldn't celebrate too early or be sad too early. We've hopped out of cars, screaming woo, and it was not what we thought. We've hopped out of cars pissed off, and it was 5th. So we'll see when the results come in. James kept it on the track. That's a huge win today, and I think we were pretty fast.
And I had a great time. This is an awesome track to drive, and I love driving in the rain. So more of this, please.
Things are going slow here at NCM. The track is treacherous. Cars are struggling. We took advantage of that and took a little break. But now we want to introduce another special guest.
Steve. We've known each other for a little while.
A long time, James.
Yeah. Since way back in the early World Challenge days, like
I remember
early 2000s.
Yeah, I remember watching you guys race. I remember watching everybody running the fence to watch the beginning of your race to see what was going to happen. And then I ended up working for you, which was actually very good. I enjoyed it a lot. And then I became a track official, but I retired, and you said, hey, let's go do it again. So, sure. Yeah. The game's changed a little bit.
Tell us about this car.
Yeah, what do we have going on here? So I've heard about this, and this is a GT40, but it's a replica. Okay.
It's a replica of a Mark I, or similar to the cars that raced in 68, 69. It has the BRM style wheels, which are like on the Gulf team cars. I built it out of parts that I had left over and some things that I bought.
Because this isn't your first one of these.
This is my third one I've put together.
Okay.
Explain parts left over though from
the first build, I had a lot of extra parts. That was 20 years ago when I built the first one.
So, I mean, how much of this is kit car versus you had to manufacture versus
I had to make most of it. The body was purchased up in Ohio. Everything else, basically, I had to make.
Man, that's incredible.
Or had to find.
And so it's what kind of engine?
It's a Ford 302 V8.
Okay.
It has real 8 carburetors, 8 Webers on it. It has dual points.
Can you pop that trunk?
Yes, we can.
Wow. So dual ARM rear.
Yep. It carries 2 gas tanks like the original, 15 gallons on each side.
Right in the side pod. That's nice and safe. Exactly where you want them.
Yep. The motor's right over your left shoulder.
Safety third, James.
If at all.
Yeah. Safety maybe 5th on this.
302.
Man, that's awesome. So you've told me about this thing before, and I
It's hard to imagine just somebody saying it. You know?
Right-hand drive.
Yeah, just like original. Right-hand shift. You see the shifters on the sill.
Oh.
You didn't see that previous.
Right-hand drive, right-hand shift.
Whoa.
It drives like a normal car.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Huh.
James, step around here, and I'll show you how you get in. A guy like you and me, take your left hand. Do not touch this part of the windshield.
All right.
Take your left hand, put it right up here.
Yeah.
And step your foot right on that metal bar in between the seats. Put your left foot in there.
All right.
Now, yeah. Support yourself on this here. You can put your hand down there. Now, very carefully put your feet in there. Don't cut your leg on the emergency brake handle there. Just very carefully slide yourself down and down.
Oh, I got to stick my feet out.
Yeah, way down in there, down.
Ever since we
Take
started
your hat
shooting
off
this
because
video,
there's no room for
Steve's
your
car
hat.
is attracting a crowd.
I'm serious.
No room for helmet either.
No room for your hat. Yeah, no room for your helmet. Now, duck your head sideways, and now there's a bubble in the roof. You can put your head up in there.
Just don't hit a bird.
Yeah, that's comfortable.
Let's go safety. Let's go safety 7th on that.
Yeah, you were saying safety third. That wasn't even in the top 10.
Well, I'd backed it down to 5th, but yeah, we're falling.
You can get a real view of what you can't see key out the back.
Steve, what are we doing here?
Okay, the clutch is way over to the left.
So like in the center of the car.
Hey, how are you, Phil? Phil's back.
I'm back.
Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Just touch the key, it'll fire right over.
Am I driving?
Yes. Go down there. Do not do anything stupid. Do not go down that way. I'm serious.
Don't do anything stupid.
This is like a really poor remake of Ford versus Ferrari.
Carefully.
I'd like to point out that I'm sitting diagonally across the car.
Yes.
Because the
Oh, it's like a BMW.
That's exactly right. Look at his head in there.
Steve, you're a brave man.
He can do it.
You're a brave man. What are you doing, James?
So we're Phil Frings is back here with us again.
We actually just talked to him in the last video.
So you know that. That's what I was segueing into the next video.
Gotcha.
So I am applying the driver names, not the racing to end Alzheimer's names. So we've saved this till the end of the trip just to make sure that we were both going to make it to the end of the trip. So I feel like we have definitely deserved to do this, to put our names on here. Evan, your name on our car. Thank you.
James, I think you're employee of the month.
Yeah,
thanks,
great
man.
job,
You're the best.
James.
Look at that.
Oh, beautiful.
All right.
Look, even the arc is right.
Done this before?
Not my first rodeo.
All right, Phil. Let's put some names on cars. You want to talk for a sec?
Yeah, sure. So here we are. We're another batch of names that are going on. Every one of these is somebody's family member, somebody's loved one. There's a story behind every one of them. And it's because of the generosity and love of their family members or their friends that a donation was made to put these on the car and to be a big part of this One Lap America effort. And we're just pleased and happy. And today's the day that we're going to put the last batch of names on. There may be a couple more coming in, but this is the bulk of it.
So thanks again for everybody that participated in this. We will pass around the hat one more time, and this car will be used with this livery for several other special events this year. So really appreciate everybody that's contributed. Super worthwhile cause. Thank you, Phil Frings, for putting this whole thing together, and your organization, which does just a lot of good.
So if you still want to put a name on, it's $100. Phil will put the information on the video so that you do it, and go ahead and do it.
Great. Thanks, guys. Let's start putting on stickers.
Okay, so you want to...
James, is that Pappy?
It is Pappy. It's poor man's Pappy.
What on earth is poor man's Pappy?
I don't know, but Bill Wade, standing next to me, longtime friend, sent me notes about the track, video of the track, gave us his car for breakfast, and gave us his bottle. So, bourbon, breakfast, Battlestar Galactica.
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah.
Southern hospitality. You're in Kentucky. We have to treat you like you're one of our own. So,
Well, gosh.
Enjoy.
And you've always been nice to me on this. Now tell me, what is this exactly?
this is you can actually make what's called poor man's Pappy by taking 12-year-old Weller and Weller Antique and mixing it at a certain percentage.
Which I can't get anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
just take your 12-year-old Weller.
yeah, that crap.
That's not this.
All
But
right.
I had an extra label laying around. I got this label off of Etsy or someplace.
Okay.
So I just had that label laying around. Thought you might get a kick out of that. This is a blend that I've made up and kind of enjoy, and I thought you'd like it.
Man, guys in Kentucky, next level, blending their own bourbon. I dig it.
What's up, James? Why's the computer out?
Well, Evan, because every day is not only waking up at 6 a.m., getting to the track, raising the ride height, getting the car ready to go. Takes about 30, 45 minutes to do the checklist, do a track walk in the 20 minutes we have left, which is pretty exciting for like 2-3 mile tracks. Run the car, that takes a little bit of effort, and then all the things to prep for the second run. Then of course after that we have to pack up, but apparently what's most important is getting the video card out of the session, not necessarily for data review, but so that Kevin back home can work through it in his leisure.
Well, we know the in-car footage is everybody's favorite 4 or 5 minutes.
I've been getting lots of comments like, I see you drove really poorly in the morning because you had no sleep and you're trying to figure out a brand new racetrack. How can you show me more of that? And so Kevin, if you can make sure all of the in-car is in these, that would be amazing. That's clearly what everybody is asking for.
Yeah.
How can we get more in-car?
I mean, the real shame is we only do 4 laps, so it'd be hard to get more, but
We could loop it.
yeah.
Put it, the videos have been not long enough. The other feedback I've got, not long enough. So if we just put some looping in car, and if you could just do some editing to make it look like, maybe mix up the laps a little bit. That'd be pretty hot.
All right, good thinking, James.
Yeah.
That's what we do here. We're always thinking. We're always improving. We're always making changes. Even day 8, we're here to bring people more in-car footage, like they've asked for. Kevin really has done an amazing job putting these together. If you're enjoying the videos, it's mostly because of Kevin.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
course at NCM. It was a drying track, and this is the first time that we've left in time to caravan with our E90 friends, Mike and Monique.
We did it. We did it. All we had to do was not do the work we're supposed to do before we drive on the road.
So we skipped some load up steps. Well, we skipped working on the car. They've been 1 or 2 run groups behind us every single event, and somehow they're gone an hour to 2 hours before we are.
Their teamwork is amazing. Truly.
We still didn't beat them out.
We got a full tank. But they don't.
We do have a full tank of fuel, and this is the best it's ever been, so we celebrate the victory. Speaking of, today was a good day on the racetrack. The first session, maybe not great. It was absolutely pouring down rain. It started pouring maybe as the first run group was midway through, and then there were just rivers across. You couldn't go full speed on the straight. You had to lift to go down the straight. The second session was a drying track, but when we ran, it was almost fully dry, which is fantastic. This may be the first time this week, with the way the weather's worked, that we haven't gotten stuck with a wet track that then continued to dry for others.
Good job. Good job.
Yep. So,
however, James's iPhone skills continue to suffer. Terrible.
not the best with the iPhone. Still trying. It's been a long trip. And I've made progress. At least it's still rolling.
Doesn't feel great.
Still rolling.
Front end.
What do you mean it doesn't feel great?
A little bit of vibration. It's not normally there when it's 2 0.
So we left the front end of the car low. I'd like to say that was for durability testing for that big front splitter. That thing's riding about 2 inches off the ground right now. The reality of it is we're just lazy.
But also, we test the parts. So you don't have to.
We do. And this splitter has been a superhero. You know, one thing I haven't said is Optima batteries. Optima batteries, you know, they are more than a battery company. They are by far more than a product. It's a true enthusiast brand. They totally get what we do here, and they are behind a lot of the really cool out there stuff we do. I mean, we do pro racing. We've been in racing since we started the business, but you know, Pikes Peak, running the Nürburgring, One Lap of America, Sandhills Open Road Classic. So many of these seed the country. Weird event is not the unique events. You know, spending 8 days on the road with friends is just absolutely amazing. The Optima guys get it. They say, hey, we love it when you do this kind of stuff. And so thank you guys for inspiring automotive people, certainly me, but everybody else with your participation in that kind of event. So really appreciate that. What else do we have, Evan?
We got the skid pad. I mean, we got a hopefully reasonably short drive. I can't believe I'm saying 6 hours is short, but it feels short after what we've just been through.
Amazingly short.
Yeah, I'm already thinking about like dinner. Like, we'll be there soon.
So we're gonna screw this up. We're gonna stop for dinner, and we're gonna get in at 1 o'clock, 1:30, because we do lose an hour in transit. So don't worry. Just because we got out early doesn't mean we aren't gonna totally fritter away our time.
I've got 9 o'clock arrival time, including the time change.
So apparently I'm also not very good at navigation, because I came up with 12 o'clock on the same phone Evan is using. Oh, tolls. I don't know.
Anyways, results are not in. We'd like to see where we're at. We will be back with that eventually, but all that's left is this drive and the skid pad. The event is wrapping up.
So
Drivetrain malfunction. That's I are 2 hours from the hotel in South Bend, Indiana. This is the final location for the entire trip. Earlier today, we checked in after session 1 at NCM. James drove the car in pouring rain. Actually did quite well. Unfortunately, we finished 16th because, hey, shocker, the track dried out after our session. That hasn't happened almost every session.
Recurring theme of this story.
Yes. It's funny because earlier in the week, we told you how excited we were to have qualified well and be starting early in all of these events. That has not helped us. In the second session this afternoon, James in the car did really well. We didn't have drivetrain issues. He finished 10th or 11th? 11th overall, which is roughly where we've been, a little above average, I think, where we were yesterday as well. It's great. Unfortunately, some of our competition also did really well. The Cadillac Blackwing guys, 3rd overall.
3rd.
So congratulations to them. It's a great result. Our friends Carl and Sean Troy in the M5 also finished 6th or 8th ahead of us. Either way, we think we're okay in class. We had a pretty good lead in the class points before that anyways, so we're still 6th overall. We're 1st in class going into the final event at the skid pad tomorrow. In general, things are looking pretty good, but
I think, well, before you butt, I think it's also important while we're celebrating a couple things. We did have yet again our best pack up ever. Pretty excited about that.
We had our best pack up ever, which actually gave us time to stop and eat a sit-down meal and get to the hotel last, as usual. When I say get to the hotel, I don't want to make assumptions. So this is our new, I was about to say new situation. This is the situation we've been dealing with all week. How's the car feel right now, James?
The car feels fine, but I'm a little shell-shocked when I see that the error message. We think we know what it is. It happens in the transits. It's ridiculous that we can pound this car on the racetrack and not have issues, but whatever. We had our delicious sit-down dinner, had an impromptu photo shoot with the Troys, and malfunction. So,
yeah. I mean, where we're at right now is we just want to finish this. Car is clearly broken. We can't fix it. It's probably not going to melt down in the next 2 hours. We're back to, I think if we're being honest, we had a little fun with the car today.
Had a little fun with the car today, tonight, after our steak dinner.
Last night we were telling you we were in sort of life sport mode trying to extend it. I think the car felt fine and we lost sight of that. We started not doing that, and here we go with the message. So we are back to 7th gear, easy cruising, 2 hours. I'm not sure we'll have to shift again before we get there. All this car needs to do is start in the morning and go around a skid pad a few times.
Get 20 miles to the event, to the Tire Rack headquarters, warm up, 2 shifts into 3rd gear, drive around in a circle, turn around, drive around in a circle the other way. The dry skid pad, or again, we're hoping for wet, and I think Mother Nature may help us there. It's the last event we have, and there's a lot of points on the table, and this can be a deciding factor. We look today, I think we can be anywhere from 3rd overall to 12th overall, depending on basically wet or dry, whether we kill it, whether we don't, whether we just can't even get to the skid pad. So on our end, we've reached out to the engineering team at BimmerWorld, Wayne Yon, Dave Wagner, James Walker, one of our drivers, professional engineer, vehicle guy. We've gotten all the setup tips, the driving tips. Our Continental Tire guys, they've chimed in and helped. We've kind of got the engineering team working to run this car in 4 circles tomorrow. That's all we have to do.
4 circles. Not sure we'll make it. It feels like a really tough way to fall apart after 8 days of high performance. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Good night.
Good night.